We are back with a musical conversation with our guest for tonight's podcast, Mr. James Lane. Introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name is James, and I am originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and I currently live in the Charles Village neighborhood.
Chillage. You are a son of Dundalk, which is an item of interest to us because you appeared in the Dundalk Eagle for traveling to all 50 states before the age of 30. So basically, we're just segueing directly into bio background mode before we get into your project, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
How did you manage to do 50 states? Was it just a massive road trip?
Yeah, it was just like one big road trip, No, not really.
How long does it take to drive to Hawaii?
Oh man, I don't know. Has Tesla came out with that car yet?
Oh, I forgot to mention that Brian Levy is in an undisclosed location for this particular interview. So sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no video of me.
Yeah, there's just some mysterious figure. No video happening here. But yeah, so the 50 states thing, it was a really fun project that I didn't even realize I was a part of. I didn't realize that I wanted to visit all 50 states until like I was maybe 24, 25 years old. I had already visited 30, 35 states, something like that. And then I realized how close I was. And my girlfriend at the time, Kim, and I and our dog, Bailey, we just drove from Baltimore to Denver, and we made like several pit stops across the country to like South Dakota. And we were like in the Badlands, and it was just like a wild experience being like, our car was like surrounded by buffalo, and that was crazy as hell. And then like made it to Wyoming and a bunch of other places. And I had two really good friends that lived in Hawaii, so that gave me a free place to crash. I did a lot of couch surfing in my early 20s as well. And man, those experiences are absolutely bananas. Like, I have a few really crazy stories about that. One in particular where me and a friend went to New York City, and we went and saw one of my favorite bands. And then later that night, we arrived at the couch surfer's house, I think around like 11:30. And it was these three girls. What's that?
In the morning, because you were out all night?
Not quite. No, in the evening, actually. So it was, yeah, we were kind of bad. But we like show up at these girls' house. And it's like these three ladies. They're all sisters. And we walk inside and we realize there's not a couch there. And we're like, oh no. This is interesting. And we're like chatting for a little bit, and they hit the lights go off, and like suddenly these like puppets just like show up out of nowhere. I was like, what is going on? What the hell is happening? They're like, surprise, we're actually puppeteers that like travel the world and stuff like that. And we moved the couch out of the way so we could do this puppet show for you. Anyway, long story short, that's how I visited all 50 states by
and lost a kidney.
Puppeteers.
Yeah. What was the puppet show about?
Stealing his kidneys.
Yeah, it was just some sock puppets. I think they were like imitating like me and my friend. It was really spooky, honestly. But it was cool.
Spooky,
yeah, it was an unforgettable experience. I will say that.
So at what point did you ask where the couch was? Did someone ask where the couch was?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt the show or anything. I was frightened for my life, but I figured at the same time, can't be too harmless. They look like kind of cute. So, and I'm referencing the puppets, by the way. And
girls are ugly.
It's all good. Yeah.
All right, two more quick beats on your bio. One, you have a video on YouTube of you winning The Price is Right, which,
yeah,
I mean, talk about a bucket list item. Me jumping off a boat with a knife in my teeth to go free diving, you winning The Price is Right. Not only did you win The Price is Right, but it was one of those games that's literally a coin flip, and you win like $11,000 in vacations. So... And you were wearing a Baltimore shirt, which, what's his nuts? The guy with the glasses.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. Sorry, Brian. Basically is like, hey, you, what's that shirt? And you're like, I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, let's play this game.
All right, let's do some fucking Plinko.
Right.
My favorite part of that video is if you look at the comments, someone said, like, I think it's the first comment says, I played a basement show with that guy. Like, not even.
I've never seen that. I've never looked at that, but that's incredible. I love that somebody did that. That's amazing.
If you're a musician in the Baltimore area, chances are you've played a basement show with just about everyone that plays music.
Exactly. I go from, game show hero to, I don't know, grimy basement punk rock star. Who knows?
Missed opportunity for Jukebox Europe.
Oh, Jukebox Hero. Is that like a spinoff of Guitar Hero?
I think it's a foreigner song.
Oh, okay, cool. I like it. Yeah, The Price is Right was crazy. I used to live in Los Angeles with my two best friends. In fact, we took a bus across country from Baltimore to LA in the middle of the night, and we were just like, you know what? We're just gonna go move to LA. And we ended up like living with this lady that ended up trying to blackmail me, and it became like this whole crazy fiasco. And I remember like the last month I was there, my buddy got us tickets to like sit in the crowd. We sit in the crowd, and then they like audition everyone every day. So like anyone that comes in, they're just like, tell me a little bit about you. And I just like high-fived the auditioner like 10 times. And I was like, I want to be on the show. Let's go. And, they had everyone sit down. You don't know that you're going to get called. And I was the third person called down for the day. And I couldn't believe it was me. Like I was like freaking out and so excited and enthused, and just like rushed down to the podium. I'm like bidding there all day. Like people are like bidding that extra dollar over me. So like they get on stage and I don't. I'm like, I'm screwed. There's no way. And suddenly I like bid right on a Canon camera, and then get on stage. I like have a dance battle with Aisha Tyler, which is freaking insane. And then you might notice in the video I actually have a crooked mustache, which is like one of the funniest parts to me about that whole experience. Like I was actually I remember right before we went down to CBS Studios, I was shaving my face. I had like a beard the night before. And I was shaving my face, and like my friend was like, hey, the Uber's here, we gotta go. And I was actually in between like shaving my face when that was happening. And then he was like, come on, man. And I just like throw my razor in the sink and I rush to the car. And then they look at me and he was like, dude, your mustache is like, looks so crazy right now. And I was like, look at it. It's like this silly thing. But yeah, like winning the trips, I didn't even plan on bidding the right guess. Like I was actually going to make the wrong guess, believe it or not. I was actually planning on bidding on San Francisco, and then the whole audience was like Tahoe. And I was like, all right, I should probably trust like 30-40 people over my decision. I'm gonna go with these guys, and if they're wrong, well, in that case, I'm going to be a little mad at everybody in this room. But
these Midwestern tourists seem to know what's up. I'm going to go with their ideas.
Yeah. Sure enough, they were right. And it was a cool experience. Won the trips. The trips were absolutely amazing. And then winning the 10,000 was great too.
Yeah. Not a bad thing to put on your bio. One more item I wanted to cover before we get into your musical project.
Please.
You had an involvement in the Baltimore B Note, a local currency, which I think there was this trend in the late aughts, let's just call them that, where it was like, hey, you know how lots of money leaves the local economy when people travel elsewhere and spend money or something like that? And somebody came up with the idea like, hey, why don't we have money that only works in Hamden and Fells Point?
Yeah.
And we went through this period where we had, a design contest, and people made the B notes, and then it was good for like a 10% discount at any of the participating venues, and you became like the lead brand ambassador or something to that effect.
Yeah, pretty much. So, the what you're speaking of is like the very, very early days of the B Note. A lot had changed since then. Yeah, so the B Note was Baltimore's local currency. It came in ones and fives. I got hired by them originally in 2012, and then I started having a lot more say, and I was one of the board of directors as the lead marketing representative and organizer, starting in late 2014, early 2015. And during its prime, I would say like mid 2015, we had over 250 local businesses accept the currency. It was a one, yeah. So it actually was a lot more, and the directories are still on the website. You can check them out. And we continued to expand and continued to grow. That we decided to release the second denominations, which were the B10 and the B20, which has Lily Carol Mae Jackson and B Gaddy on them.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was an amazing project. You know, it's something I'm really proud of that I was a part of, but I also find it kind of funny at the same time. I can definitely take some humor from it. You know, it does look very strange, like to just, you know, an ordinary person just seeing these like monopoly Baltimore dollars basically circulating throughout the city. But we had about 50,000 in circulation. So
that's impressive.
Quite a lot. Yeah. And one of the cool things was getting a lot of press on it too was really neat, because it kind of highlighted the local economy as well. So it really wasn't about us per se. It was really just about like giving some rapport to the local businesses within Baltimore, and some of that would definitely include like the Daily Record article. They interviewed me, and having the opportunity to give a shout to some of my favorite businesses and like the businesses that accept the money, as well as being featured on LED Baltimore Artscape weekend in 2016. So yeah, it was a great project, and it definitely had some ups and downs, and you know, it sure as hell, you know, it's difficult to make a local currency last forever, but you know, it's an alternative to the economy we're in now, I guess.
Oh yeah, the next step is obviously the Bitcoin version, the Baltcoin.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say so.
Casey, get on it. Write that white paper.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'm just waiting to return the means of production to the workers. I'm just waiting for
Brian,
that.
you just said the catchphrase. The interview's over. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
All right. Anyway, so moving right along from bio territory into project territory, you've got a very interesting little project coming out. Let's not call it little. Let's call it grand. Local based, music based, and gonna educate or benefit some educating some kids. Please tell us all about your project, the Staycation.
Yeah, for sure.
Something.
So yeah, my pleasure. So the project that I'm working on now is called Staycation Compilation. It's a music series that showcases the variety and sound of musicians in Baltimore while giving back to a greater cause. This specific project, we're donating our proceeds to Baltimore International Academy to help with funding their music program, to assist in paying for instruments for their students. And in return, the students of the school wrote and recorded a track that will be featured as the bonus track of the release. And the bonus track that the students wrote and record is in 5 different languages, which I personally think is pretty awesome. And the artist will have like a featured video of them performing their song or talking about it up till the series release. And we'll also be having a listening party at the Made in Baltimore store January 7th, 2022, which is actually our release date. And it's Bandcamp Friday, which we're hoping to optimize all of our sales to donate to BIA during that time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was looking up, some videos from the International Academy, and they do a lot of language immersion programs. So there was like like an 8th grader speaking almost fluent Chinese. I think there's a YouTube video of that. So yeah, that's going to be really cool to see that track in 5 languages.
Yeah, I've already listened to it, and
oh really?
Yeah, they've already sent it to me, and this is actually a spoiler alert. It's actually going to be on the physical album as well. So we're excited for that. And we're not sure when the physical album is going to come, but we know that we're going to have a release show for it where the physical album is already in production. It just depends on when the company sends it to us. And we'll kind of base our like timeline off of that. But I listened to the track, the bonus track by the students, and it is crazy. It is like absolutely, it has like this like electronic like piano synthy vaporwave style of like children like just singing in like 5 different languages.
What is the age range of the people on the track?
I believe that it is like middle school. I think it's like 6th through 8th. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure.
So it's going to be very imaginative.
Yeah, very magical indeed.
So the kids are included. Who else gets a track?
What do you mean?
I think Brian's,
who else
are you
is
talking about
involved?
the set list? Yeah, Brian, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I was gonna
okay.
I was gonna end this segment with like teasing the list. Or no, okay, hold on. Let's do the list first. Then we'll do some hot Baltimore music scene chat. Because I'm old and I've got thoughts, and good ones and bad ones. But yeah, I was looking at the track list and I was like, I don't recognize a single. Speaking of being old, I'm like, I don't recognize a single one of these bands. And then I started going through them and I was like, oh wait, I recognize at least 2. So
yeah. I was gonna say, come on, there's at least a few in there that
well,
I know. Yeah.
Top of the list, F City, Landis Expandis has been around Baltimore for as long as I can remember, basically. From the Almighty Senator days, and now he's got F City, and his stuff's every bit as good as it has been in the past. I love it.
Absolutely, Landis is amazing, and Plurals is on there too.
That was the other track that I recognized because I've seen them dozens of times at like all kinds of places, and they've got a really polished sound on some of their, well, most of their stuff. I really enjoy them, and honestly, that's like 2 of the 3 that I recognized.
Wait, who's the third one?
Oh, it was what's it called? Gay Baseball, because I've seen like some of their videos, like but they came across my desk like randomly. Most of their stuff I've seen is like behind a Patreon, but I saw them like posting about like their hot sauce and stuff like that. So I was just aware of them. I don't know what their music sounds like.
They're pretty cool. Tristan is definitely become a good friend of mine in the past year or so here. They're like a duo that just absolutely freaking rocks it. Right. Like, yeah, I think that they're like a couple, and you know, they just I love what they put out. It's very like punk rock, very fast, but it also has like a little bit of elements of Ween as well, which is kind of interesting. So
yeah, I like basically any track on this that has a punk sound to it. I'm like, I like this because I'm, again, old. When I was coming through the city for the music scene, it was like pure crust punk all the time, like the Small Intestine, which is a dead venue, you know, and all the basements at the VFWs around the Lith Hall, blah, blah, blah. It was just nothing but punk for me.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. You know, like I actually, that reminds me of, you know, I grew up playing in bands in Baltimore since I was 20 years old, and always wanted to like contribute to like the arts and music scene. I remember playing shows, or like just even being at shows, whether I played them or watched, at Copycat, Bell Foundry, H&H Building, NX, Red Maple, Tag Art Gallery. The list goes on, and like even like Transmodern Art Festival with Fluid Movement Baltimore. That was like an absolutely wild, chaotic scene. And same with Manifest, like Ruin Town, with like I don't know if you ever went on the Jones Falls, but there were some like crazy like punk rock shows and just parties there. I think that was going on during like the Occupy Baltimore like situation, but
yeah, it was a very punk movement.
Very, very interesting. But you know, these spaces and groups, that they always felt like really special to me, and nothing else I've ever seen like anywhere else. And I wanted to create something that was kind of maybe like a homage to that, almost, of like, you know, the new breed of Baltimore, and give maybe or at least help assist, give like a spotlight to some artists that might not get as much recognition.
Well, that's great. But okay, so getting back to the school, How do you approach a school? Do you just like pick the phone up and be like, "Hi, I'm doing this project. Would you like to record a track and be on it?"
That's what I originally did, actually. And then a couple of the schools just they thought, they didn't get back to me, and I was like, you know what, it's fair, it's fine. So I just kind of made like a post, I think, on Facebook about like what schools I should try to reach out to. And one of my friends through the video game orchestra, actually, he reached out to me and put me in touch with the person that works as like the music director of Baltimore International Academy. And we just had a great conversation, and she said that they were looking for funding, and this sounds like a really great opportunity. And the idea that it's an international school really fascinated me as well, because it showcases a lot of diversity, and it really allows to kind of like branch out to different communities and hopefully create like a positive message for all types of walks of life. And having that opportunity to kind of work with her name's Kira has been really cool. It's been really great, because the track that they submitted to us is like way better than I could have ever imagined. Like, just like, it's a very fun like synth piano track, has like a vaporwave style to it, in my personal opinion. And the whole project really like just kind of came together because of just with the help and assistance of everybody in the group. Like, I put together a group chat, and there's a band member of each band within this group chat, and we kind of communicate through there pretty much daily and share different ideas. It's a great way for us to like network with one another, and hopefully my hope is it creates relationships for other people within the future to perform together, to record together, or just become friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Now all you need to do is merge with the Rock Opera Society averse.
Yeah,
form the undefeatable blob of music.
Wouldn't that be wild? Like, if we like did like we released this album, then 6 months later we released like the remix album, but with like every track is like remixed by the Baltimore Rock Opera Society.
There's nothing
or something
stopping
like
you.
that.
Just get a hold of them, man. They'll do it.
So I'm not sure if I can say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. One of the, I think, founders, if I'm not mistaken, of Bros was actually supposed to be on this release. So we've actually had a few different lineup changes on this release. There's about, I want to say, maybe 5 or 6 different artists that had to drop for various reasons. I think a lot of the reasons was primarily due to pandemic and COVID related. Yeah. They didn't think they were going to be able to submit on time. But yeah, sure enough, one of the people from Bros was definitely supposed to be on the release. And, maybe we'll have them on next time, when it's a little bit more safer outside. But
Volume 2.
Yeah, but V2, yeah, there will definitely be a V2. And what's cool is I haven't announced this really to anyone yet, but I'm really excited to share it here with you guys today. I actually plan on making this a nationwide series. So I kind of have like a similar mindset to what So Far Sounds does, in a way where they host like they have like a toolkit of resources and how they like sort of set up, and like ideally one day I would love to be able to pay the artist within the series, and kind of have like a similar structure to where we're able to donate proceeds to, school. The school, gives in return a track, and then hopefully there will be funding distributed to the school and the artist. And I'm kind of putting together this toolkit now. And I kind of want to pilot this in different cities. And the next 2 cities I'm, looking at right now is Denver. I used to live in Denver for 4 years, And you know, I know a lot of artists and a lot of musicians there, and they have a super thriving music scene. Like, oh my God, it's like so crazy. Like these bands, Oko Tigra, Colfax Speed Queen, Guillotine, amazing bands.
Hold
And
on, I'm
then
writing these down.
yeah, I will certainly send them to you. I bet you would love them. And then also Philadelphia. So Denver
Right.
and Philly are looking like they will be the next places up to bat for this project to have a sequel and whatever comes after sequel.
Awesome. Yeah, but by all means, like delegate somebody to keep doing volumes 2 through 80 in the city of Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I'm sure you remember like when bands like Thank You, Weekends,
Mhm.
Witch Hat, those band Rim Runner,
Future
Dope Body,
Islands.
Future Islands, Celebration, remember
Yep.
them? Like all those bands were really popular like in, you know, 2008, 9, 10, 11, whatever. And to me that was so inspiring. I was so inspired by seeing those artists. Like anytime that I had a chance to see Weekends, like I was freaking stoked. I was so pumped up. Like Brendan and Adam are as a duo together are like one of the most underrated bands of all time, and I'm staying true to that word forever. And Witch Hat too, like Connor, just an incredibly talented musician, and like those bands inspired me to just like keep on trucking away, you know. Like I still have lots of memories of going to those like warehouse shows like at H&H building and like seeing them open up for Dan Deacon or Lightning
Oh,
Bolt or
yeah.
something like that.
Not to
And
mention Dan Deacon.
yeah, like Dan's
That
early
guy.
shows. Yeah, his
Uh,
early shows, just
I-
absolutely amazing experiences. And now that I'm older, you know, that was like a decade ago.
yeah.
You know, it's different, but there's still a lot of amazing things happening here in Baltimore. And one thing that I just want to give a quick shout out to that I think is particularly amazing is the Depot. I mean, the Depot is like still around. Like
Still
that's
doing
incredible.
80s night.
Yeah, it's incredible. Hosting the Deep Open mic, like Eli hosts that, and just yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah, we would bound. So now we're getting into like venue chat, hot venue chat. Actually, before we do that, are there two artists in particular on this list, other than yourself, because you are on this list,
Yeah.
in some shape or form, that you think we should be paying attention to in any way, shape, or form?
Oh God.
Is it too hard? Is it like picking your favorite child?
Oh man. Oh boy. I think that all of them are extremely talented. I
Okay.
could say something great about every single artist on here. I think you know, very, very highly of everybody on here, and I want to say that in advance. I
Having said
know
that,
I know that uh Shy Lust have been playing a lot of shows recently. I played a show with them at North Avenue Market's like grand reopening,
oh yeah,
and they put on a hell of a show. I think that they're going to be one of the future bands of Baltimore that people are going to go out and see a bunch. Oh man, there's so many good ones on here. Like I could really say something good about everybody on here. Ari and the Buffalo Kings, that guy is so wickedly damn talented. It's like it's criminally like it's underrated. He's criminally underrated in my opinion. It's disgusting how underrated Ari and the Buffalo Kings is. He's you know, affiliated with the Creative Alliance, and he does like a lot of cool art projects. And Randy, I mean, I got to give a shout out to my friend Randy Cochran, and I know he's going to love this when he hears it. First, you know, Randy is a great musician. He's got a studio in Reservoir Hill. I think it's called Magnolia Studios, I'm pretty sure. And he's you know, he's become a better friend of mine in the past few years, and or I guess the past like year and a half, I should say. And he's like the drummer of Plurals now. So
okay.
that's kind of interesting. But everybody's good. Everybody on this album is good.
perfectly diplomatic answer. No, no wrong answers here. Everybody's talented.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm hearing from you and what I was thinking to myself while you were pointing it out is that, imagine you're in the 60s, the early 60s, you're in that bar where Led Zeppelin is playing. None of these examples are quite as insanely big like 50 years down the line, but
Not yet.
Not yet, that's right. But I can remember seeing like Jay Roddy before anybody knew who that was.
Definitely.
Aforementioned Future Islands and all these other bands, and I've never really been ingrained in the scene in Baltimore, and even somehow I managed to see these people. Like I've seen Dan Deacon a dozen times, like at Copycat, at Floristry, which previous to that,
in line at Dunkin' Donuts.
In line, passed down on my girlfriend's stoop in Mount Vernon.
I mean, that dude gets around.
Wearing a Baja at Dionysus, like not paying his tab. Like,
no, if you wanted to be in a hyper local band and you named it Dan Deacon Shaw, I think that would be a pretty good band name for Baltimore.
Yeah.
So the fact that you just mentioned Dionysus, Evan, is incredible. Like Dionysus was like, when I was like 21, that was like my primary spot, like that and Albar,
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live across the street from it.
Yeah, we would make the rounds
awesome.
from, Club Chuck to the Depot to Dionysus, usually end at Dionysus somehow, but, times are changed for me. I'm old. It's like,
we were talking about, I'm in a running group. I just like finished my first marathon last month, and this running group, some of the guys here have been around for a while too, and one of the guys wrote like a food blog for City Paper, and him and I were just like you probably know him.
Wait,
right?
was it Ryan?
Yeah, that's right.
It's Ryan Tedder. He's a faster bastard.
yeah. I was gonna run a FB tonight, but then came on here, and I'm glad I did. But Ryan and I were just joking around the other night about how Liam Flynn's was like one of the most like rowdiest places in Baltimore.
First time I ever had a Scotch egg was at Liam Flynn.
This is a good spot, man. Like I would use my B notes there. Liam actually
that's right, he was a pioneer for the B Note.
He was into it. Yeah, he was definitely into it. There was a lot of great places over there. Like I remember when they first started opening up Motor House, and then Red Emma's was over there. A lot of those parties, the Taxlow parties. Remember the Taxlow parties?
I remember the name. I don't think I've ever went to one.
They were like a dance party that was at there used to be a venue like right next door to City Hall, Baltimore. It was called the Old Talking Heads Club. And
yes.
The dance parties that would happen over there. I was like 18 then. I was like too young to even drink at that time.
Yeah, Talking Head was around even when I was in high school, which is, you're talking mid-90s. So yeah, between that and the Small Intestine, those are the places that went defunct.
Small Intestine. Where was that at?
Oh God, it was like close to where Midtown Barbecue used to be. I don't know what it's called now, but it was basically like, it was this wide, and the floors were wooden, and like there were too many teenagers in there, and the place started like shaking, and it got shut down like early 2000s or something like that. It was
that
old,
sounds right.
Crusty punk venue. Yeah,
Midtown Barbecue was definitely a spot too.
Yeah, but they had that karaoke night. It was a hot spot for what it was.
So yeah, and once again, I just want to come to the conclusion here is like all that stuff, like absolutely, I remember that stuff, and all that stuff really, really inspired me to kind of do this compilation. And then when I was hosting the monthly music showcases at the Baltimore Hostel as well, I was hosting like concerts in the Baltimore Hostel's basement I started there in 2013. And then I stayed there until the hostel closed in 2019. But we were really kind of, taking off in, I think 2015, 2016, around the same time I was doing the B Note stuff. And we had a bunch of really, really great bands come through, like Reindeer played the Hostel before, and just a bunch of really great Baltimore bands. And it was a great way to kind of spotlight like a lot of these newer artists as well, like kind of pairing them up with more established acts within Baltimore. And one of the cool things that I was pretty proud of that we did was we were like briefly sponsored by Natty Boh and kind bars. We had like free
Nice.
we had like free kind bars that were just like all over the place. It was just like flooded with this is not an exaggeration. I'm telling you the truth when I say this. My apartment, I used to live in Station North for a couple of years. And my apartment's like closet was like stacked head to toe. It was overflowing with kind bars. And like Natty Boh was like, I remember like Bo sent me just like cases of beer one time. And I put them all in my fridge or whatever, like in my refrigerator. And I took a photo of it, and my fridge, like top to bottom, all the shelves, everything like that were just all Natty Boh. And I think they used it as their like their photo of the day, whatever it was. And we were just giving those out, man. We were literally just giving that out to the shows at the hostel that I was hosting. And people were like, hell yeah, I get paid. I freaking drink free beer and eat kind bars. Like, I'm as healthy as Knox.
Yep, does about it good.
Yeah.
The tour life is for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool experience. Yeah, Baltimore is the place, man. And it still is, right? Like, Baltimore is still like opposed to like a lot of other cities, like we have it still really, really good compared to
I'm
like,
glad to hear that, because I'm out
places.
of the loop basically, unless I sometimes peek my head through the window. I don't witness any of this stuff going on. And social media being the way it is, like, it's deliberately supposed to be sort of underground, so I'm never exposed to it. So I'm glad to hear that it's like still happening to this day.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a shout out to this guy, Michael H. I don't know how to spell his last name, but he's in the band Leisure Sport, and he hosts this blog called Baltimore Showplace Blog.
Okay.
And he does a damn good job at putting like all the shows that are happening within the city. I'm a big fan. I have it like bookmarked on my phone, and I check it even if I don't feel like going out, just because I'm curious to like what's happening in the scene and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so Brian, you're off camera, but do you have any like statements and or questions for our guest?
Well, it's so funny because I was out of like the Baltimore music scene. Like, I remember like Laughing Colors and
Great Train
Mary and Mary Prankster and Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah.
I once saw, the weirdest local music story I have is, I don't know why, I had friends who were in a band called Voodoo Blue, and one of the guys went out and like wrote songs for like Bowling for Soup and shit. I think he made his big money on like a Britney Spears song. His name is Dan Book. By the way, they put together like some kind of festival at Camp Milldale, some Jewish day camp out in like a little past Reisterstown. And it's like, 70 kids, and then all of a sudden Jimmy's Chicken Shack is the headliner. And it was just the craziest concert I've ever been to, because it was a bunch of local bands and Jimmy's Chicken Shack. Local band that made big for a couple of years. It was wild.
I love that.
It was absolutely wild.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I remember when Jimmy's Chicken Shack did that track with Aaron Lewis of Stained in like, I don't know, like 2001 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Peak Stained era.
Like I had a freaking Stained poster in my bedroom growing up, dude.
Ooh.
It was right next to the Rock Dwayne Johnson poster,
Okay. Those are congruent posters.
Are you allowed to cuss on this podcast? By the way?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Okay. Then I want to just say I was Dundalk as fuck, man. Like, just listening to Stained, like watching wrestling. That's like as Dundalk as it possibly gets.
What was the Aaron Lewis? It's from like Woodstock. Is it from Woodstock '99 where he's like singing sad by himself? What was that song?
Is it Outside? I'm on the outside.
I'm looking in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember like
butt rock.
I was like I was raised by my aunt, and I remember like growing up in middle school, like I like begged and pleaded. I think I even wrote my aunt a letter asking her to like let me get an eyebrow piercing like the guy from Sting.
Listen, don't take this the wrong way, but I definitely think that Stained is the official band for guys raised by their aunts.
Yeah,
Title of the episode.
That is so fucking funny, man. That could not be any more accurate, honestly. Just this like emotional baggage and shit.
It's like, well,
so Brian, what's the right way to take that?
You know, hey, listen, I think we're
love
all old
that
enough
dude
that
so much. Yeah,
it's
like,
2021. We've all been through therapy at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that my like CD catalog was just like filled with like half like emotional dark as fuck Stained, and then the other half was like trying to do it all. Dude, I was just trying to do it all for the Nookie, just like Limp Bizkit album after Bizkit album. Like there were like some days that I wanted to go to school like just like with my I don't know, like independent skateboarding t-shirt and like a freaking eyebrow piercing, and the other day I just want to wear my like I don't know, my New York red baseball cap backwards and be like, what's up guys?
I'm like Fred Durst, huh?
Yeah,
give me something to break.
That sounds bipolar as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, you were a teenager in the early 2000s. Well, anytime.
Yeah, man. What would you guys say is the best like live performer, or like the one of the like the best performances during that era that you remember seeing? Like in yeah.
There was in '99, the year of Woodstock '99, there were two HF festivals. There was a spring and a fall version. And I went to both of them, and those were probably like, if you watch that HBO Max documentary on Woodstock '99, you look at that the bands, it's basically the same set of bands except split into two different concerts. So those were amazing. And then Jimmy Buffett would be the answer. Jimmy Buffett,
dude, god damn, man. I have a lot of love for Jimmy Buffett, low key. Like, I was in the Smoky Mountains earlier this year, and then like I convinced my girlfriend for us to like go to Margaritaville, like in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yes.
It was like so trashy but so
fine
good
dining
at the
at its
same
finest.
time. It just like all the tourists, I was like, how's it go? Like all the tourists covered in oil. It's just like
that's right,
that line. Also, just really quickly, shout out to that shout out right there for HF Festival. Like, it's heartbreaking to me when and this is just life. Like, it is what it is. Like, but it's heartbreaking to me that so many people that live in Baltimore, DC have no idea what the fuck that is. Yeah. And it's like, dude, HF Festival, Virgin Mobile Free Festival, Artscape.
Well, I also went to the first one of those at Pimlico with Red Hot Chili Peppers, Gnarls Barkley, The Who.
Smashing Pumpkins.
That was a wild show.
We actually had an episode of this show where we had a former HF Festival or HFS person, DJ, and it was just a reminisce-a-thon. All of those HF festivals were so epic.
Hey, I used to make sure HF Festival was on the air, but it wasn't on 99.1. It was a different station.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the spot. Like, I never went to them, but I remember like growing up, like on my way to school, listening to Howard Stern, and like they would just like the commercials would just be like the HF Festival, like
they're the greatest.
Yeah, you're like, this sounds crazy as hell. Like, I'm a little frightened, to be honest.
Yeah. Casey, what was your favorite concert from that era?
I honestly,
sorry, I was asking the other co-host, Casey. He hasn't said anything.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, I went to not in Baltimore, but I went to Summer Sanitarium tour. I saw Metallica, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, the Deftones.
Oh yeah.
Well, because the Metallica show in Baltimore in that era, That's the one that the guy died.
It was a
He
fire?
fell, no, a
No.
guy died. He fell off the it might have been a couple people, but they fell off like the grandstands of fucking M&T Bank.
Oh.
Jesus.
They were
Christ.
I do remember the
Uh,
HF Festival where there was a fire in the field.
well,
Yeah,
then there was the Tibetan Freedom Fest where those people got struck by lightning.
Yes.
Remember when that was a thing?
The
Tibetan
Tibetan
Freedom Fest?
Fest put on by the Beastie Boys. Yeah.
I don't know what's Perry Farrell doing these days.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
they had
What
that.
is it?
The last time I saw Jane's Addiction was at the thing called the Shindig, which was in Carroll Park in Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
They
I
put on
remember that.
It was a perfectly fine show, and the festival stayed around for like 2 years, maybe 3. And then the organizer was like, you know what I want to do? A food truck festival instead. And then, it moved up to Timonium, and it was like, what's his name? The guy that, the triple fat blues guy. Damn it. Kelly Bell, sorry. Couldn't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like Kelly Bell and some other local bands that, I'm sure they're all fine. But, every time I go to a festival, Kelly Bell is there, either wrestling or playing music. And he's another one of those like artists that's never going to leave or go away like forever. And it's fine by me.
Yes. Like going back to all these throwbacks of like concerts and music festivals, I remember like some friends and I went and saw, I don't even recall what it was. I think System of a Down perform or something like that.
Okay.
And Bam Margera of like Viva La Bam and like the Jackass crew. I feel like they were all trying to like make that revival of like, these bands are cool, like System of a Down and like Slipknot, yeah, Queens of the Stone Age, which I think Queens of the Stone Age are cool in general.
They rock. I fucking love them. I have pretty much every one of their albums.
Yeah, they're a really good band. But I feel like during that time of whatever style music you might categorize like some of that as, I feel like they were trying to push like the resurfacing of the HF Festival, the Virgin Mobile Free Fest, whatever it was. And maybe I'm like
the Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah, the Warped Tour. Yeah, something a little bit different than what was happening with Warped Tour, like, but maybe a little bit more like it felt a little bit more edgy in some ways, which kind of fun. So,
have you seen Bam Margera these days?
He's like getting sued by Jackass or something like that?
He's suing Jackass because they wouldn't let him play in the new movie.
They wouldn't let him in the new movie because he's a hot mess.
he's a heroin addict.
Isn't that the point of Jackass? Is to be a hot mess? Like,
but you just can't be a heroin addict.
Right. You can't be drunk on set and fall over and get killed, and then you're a huge liability issue.
Yeah, that kind of checks out.
On that note.
Yeah, I remember seeing like Brandon Novak like quite a few times in Dundalk.
He's still bopping around town. People see him out and about.
Best wishes to him. I think him and I share the same birthday, so that's cool. My birthday was like a few days, is December 5th, but
happy birthday.
Thank
you very much. I went to New Orleans. It was cool.
Oh, damn, wow. You are a traveling man.
Oh yeah. The Dundalk Eagle doesn't lie. The Eagle doesn't lie. I still travel a lot. Yeah.
No better way to end it. Tell us about the project again. Tell us where we can find it. Websites, all that kind of stuff.
For sure. Yeah, totally. So basically you can find us only for now on Instagram at Staycation Compilation. It's spelled the way it sounds, but if you don't know how that's spelled, it's STAYCATION and then compilation. Yeah. So the track list is gonna be F City, Manners, Little Lungs, Plurals, Gay Baseball, Shy Lust, Pelvis Presley featuring Coleman Zerkowski, Lady Row featuring Leora Match, Aria and the Buffalo Kings, Ejective Animal, Furs, and Baltimore International Academy. This is the first edition of Staycation Compilation, and I hope that there's many more to come. The series will have its release party and its digital release on January 7th, 2022, Bandcamp Friday. We will have a Bandcamp account. You can just look up Staycation Compilation Bandcamp. It's not out yet, but it will be soon. The release party is going to be at the Made in Baltimore store for the digital release, and we plan on having a physical release once the albums come. So just kind of stay tuned with us on the Instagram page. And then as far as compilations go, this is actually my second run at this. I managed and curated the Hive Part 2. So if you have any interest in that, I did a little interview with Sam Sesso and WTMD Radio.
Friend of the show.
SoundCloud. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, we will post all of the details for all of these things in the show notes and on the YouTube page. And we will most likely be there at the listening party on the 7th, and we will say hello to you. I would love that. Yeah, we'll say hi to you
guys
in IRL.
You guys are really fun.
Field trip.
Yeah, you guys just taking a field trip. Yeah,
after the party, we'll go to the depot and drink some PBR.
Oh my God. Yes, please. Yes. That would be a dream come true for me in a lot of ways.
All right, man. Well, we will see you then. And in the meantime, we bid you adieu. Thank you very much for being with us on the CTB show.
I am so grateful. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for anyone that listens. And, keep Charm City charming.
We try. See you next time.